News 25 is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
A burglary suspect has been captured by police, and KPVM continues candidate interviews for the primary election. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Security cameras pick up a suspect caught in the act. It's Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, a prompt man accused of stealing copper wire and tools from a local business is under arrest and facing charges.
Ronald Creamer is in the Nye County Detention Center, booked on 1 count of possession of stolen property and 1 count of grand larceny. His arrest stems from a theft last month at Industrial Light and Power on South Warren Street. More than $15,000 worth of copper wire was stolen from the business April 8th. Security cameras caught the thief in the act, and Industrial Light and Power owner Andrew James says he was hopeful that video would lead to someone's arrest.
I just wanted the police to find this guy. I mean, it was such a brazen theft. This guy came into the property just, looking around like he belonged there. He wasn't like trying to avoid cameras. He wasn't trying to to hide from anything. He was just completely just didn't care. He was there. He was going to take what he's going to take. And that was it. So I was just really, my fingers were crossed. As soon as I saw the cameras actually caught this guy in camera, my fingers were crossed that would be enough to get the guy, prosecuted. We've never had anybody break into this property. And, I would have thought with the security cameras and, alarm systems that we've got out there, really it would be enough of a deterrent, for anybody to even try. But this person tried and, they got away with it for a couple of weeks, but ultimately now they're going to pay for it.
After reviewing the security video, Nye County Sheriff's Office detectives were able to identify Creamer as a suspect. The Sheriff's Office says upon further investigation, they discovered that Creamer had sold copper wire to Pahrump Valley Disposal 3 times in a 2-week period immediately after the theft. Last week, deputies made contact with Creamer at a home on Heritage Drive. At that time, they say Creamer admitted to stealing several spools of wire from Industrial Light and Power, and officers say he further admitted to entering the property through a hole that had been cut into the fence. Officers also say they observed several copper wire cables similar to those stolen from Industrial Light and Power at the Heritage Drive address.
Those came in handy, and thanks to Anthony James for that interview. Well, Judge Douglas Herndon is a district court judge for Department 3 of the 8th Judicial District Court in Las Vegas, but he has his sights set a bit higher. Judge Herndon is seeking election to the Supreme Court in the June 9th primary, and he says his years of experience make him the best choice for the state's high court.
I think the right experience matters, and it matters greatly in positions as critical as the Supreme Court, maybe now more than ever in terms of what's going on in our society. So the fact that I've been a district court judge for 15 years, that I've handled every type of complex civil and criminal case that our court system sees, and that I've been a top-rated judge for 15 consecutive years, I think will serve me very well on the Supreme Court. Well, experience, first off. They are both, one of them is a former Republican assemblyman, the other is a current Democratic assemblyman, but neither of them have ever been judges. Not really sure how much trial experience they have. I had a great deal of trial experience as an attorney, and I've presided over between 250 and 300 trials as a district court judge. Considering that a lot of the work that comes up to the Supreme Court stems from trial work, I think it's incredibly important that judges at the Supreme Court level, at our appellate court level even, have a great deal of a trial experience as an attorney and most importantly as a judge. For the entire time that I've been a judge, I've been very proactive about increasing efficiencies in the court. One of the things that you see from the public standpoint and from an attorney standpoint as well is delays in getting cases to resolution, and that's very frustrating for people. And a lot of times I think it comes simply from judges not working hard on case management. So I've been very proactive in trying to improve those efficiencies within our court system, both when I was the chief judge of the criminal system, and that's kind of what led to me starting the homicide case team in 2017. In the first year that the homicide case team was in business, we saved taxpayers over $1.5 million in increasing efficiencies and getting cases to resolution much quicker, and pretty much doubled, if not a little more, the amount of cases getting resolved, which means victims, defendants, families, the community are all seeing a great increase in the rate of resolution. And I think that's something that I can bring to the Supreme Court as well, the ideas and things that I've done in case management to help increase their efficiencies as well. My website is www.judgeherndon.com. They can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under Judge Douglas Herndon or Judge Herndon. Sometimes it's one word, Judge Herndon. Phone number 702-237-9206, and email is doug@judgeherndon.com.
Thank you so much. And we continue to reach out to candidates and invite them for their free news interview. We've also reached out to all the political parties to let them know to invite their candidates. And if you would like to find out more or schedule your interview, contact us at news@kpvm25.tv. We'll be right back after this break.
News 25 is brought to you by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing.
Well, House Democrats propose an additional $3 trillion stimulus package. Uber wants to buy food delivery company Grubhub, and Boeing fails to sell a single commercial jet in April. Angela Miles has more.
Topping our news, House Democrats are planning a big vote on Friday. They want to pass a new coronavirus stimulus package of $3 trillion. It would give direct payments and hazard pay to essential workers, along with relief for state and local governments. Republicans are not likely to approve that package in the Senate. Checking the economy, the Consumer Price Index, better known as CPI, fell by 0.8% in April, led by a 20% plunge in prices at the gas pump. Economists are concerned the U.S. is on the road to deflation. Uber is ready to fatten up. CNBC reports Uber made an offer to buy food delivery company Grubhub, sending Grubhub shares soaring. And another rough month for Boeing. In April, the jet maker failed to sell any commercial airplanes and had 108 cancellations.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks, Angela. Well, for the first time in history, Nevada voters are casting ballots almost exclusively through the U.S. Postal Service for the June 9th primary. And while it's something new here, other states have used mail-in voting for years. Clark County's Registrar of Voters, Joe Gloria, sat down with Clark County Television's Randy Swallow to talk about the process and what it means for voters.
It's been successful in many states. Of course, in Nevada, we're very proud of our in-person voting process. And so mail ballot has been successful in states like Colorado, Oregon, and Washington. So we're confident that we can mirror what they've done in those states for this one-time election. But we have no intention of permanently moving to all mail ballot elections at this time. And of course, that would be a decision for the state legislature to do.
A recent Oregon Secretary of State said you can't hack paper. So obviously the integrity of the election process is always paramount, and this is probably even making it even more secure in a lot of ways?
Well, there are pros and cons with both types of voting, but we're very confident in the process for mail ballot voting. We have several steps in place to, number one, verify the identity of the voter and make sure that the ballots that are sent in are being sent in by that voter. We also have many steps for voters to ensure that if they make a mistake, for instance, by not signing the envelope, which is very important because that's one of the steps that we use to verify the identity of the voter. We're now statutorily required to contact the voter, and that's why we're encouraging voters, if you do not have your email address or phone number on your voter registration record, we encourage you to contact our office or go to the online voter registration and add that information, because that'll give us the ability to quickly contact you and let you know that you didn't sign your ballot, and we have steps in place for them to correct that so that we can count their ballot for the election.
You said there's even actually 4 different checks and balances on that, the final one coming to your physical eyeballs to match up signatures. Tell me about the 4.
That's exactly right. And since we went to an all-mail ballot election, and with help from the federal government and the Secretary of State, we've made purchase of a vote mail processing system. And with that system, we have software where they actually check the voter registration signature on file with what's on the envelope. So a large percentage of the ballots that we receive will automatically, through computer, be verified as far as the signature match. Anything after that will have to be manually checked, but as you mentioned, there are 3 steps after that computer check that are required for us to make sure that we agree that the signature does not match. But ultimately, it's my decision. There's no ballot that comes through the election department that gets rejected for a bad signature without going by my desk and my personal review.
And Joe, even though we're calling this an all-mail-in ballot election, and you're certainly strongly encouraging everyone to do just that, there actually will be 3 polling places on June 9th.
That's correct, Election Day. And there will also be a 14-day period, what voters here in Clark County are used to with the early voting period, where we'll be voting here at the election center and allowing people to come in and same-day register. We'll allow ADA voters to come in and unassisted vote on a computer so that they can cast their ballot independently. And also, we're not encouraging this, but voters could come in for a replacement ballot. What we strongly encourage voters to do is if they have an issue with their ballot to contact our office, because we have several means of providing an additional ballot to them. One is, again, through the U.S. mail, or we've also got measures to use electronic ballots to send to voters locally so that they wouldn't have to leave their house and expose themselves to large groups. And we're hoping voters will take advantage of that.
All right, we'll be back with more news right after this.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Nye County's injury attorneys. Don't get bullied by insurance companies. Call Jason Ernest and bully them back at 775-727-9500.
As COVID-19 spread, some cancer centers stopped enrolling patients in clinical trials, dashing the hopes of people hoping to try experimental therapies to extend their lives. But one man fighting pancreatic cancer wouldn't take no for an answer, despite coronavirus. Erica Foreman has his story.
When COVID-19 halted cancer trial enrollment in his hometown, 50-year-old Jingsong Mo hit the road.
I was pretty devastated, to be honest, because here I was out of chemo and there is no other treatment available.
Mo has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Standard treatments worked well for 2 years, but the cancer came back just as coronavirus started to spread.
He unfortunately was faced with 2 institutions where he'd been getting his care that had closed their facilities to new enrollment on clinical trials.
Mo searched tirelessly for a clinical trial still accepting patients despite COVID-19, and he found one 2.5 hours away at Cleveland Clinic.
I was looking for anything that could help me, and for a patient like my situation, all I can ask for is, what I can pray for is a little bit of hope.
Every week, Mo travels from his home in Michigan to Cleveland for an experimental immunotherapy infusion.
Where we're trying to get the immune system, the patient's own immune system, to recognize that cancer as being an unusual cell that shouldn't be there and to try to get rid of it.
It'll be a few weeks before doctors know if the therapy is working, but the prospect keeps Mo going.
In this case, having the opportunity to try it, to me was pretty uplifting.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Thanks, Erica. Well, Dr. Shepard encourages people with advanced cancers to be persistent when seeking treatment options, regardless of COVID-19. Because of coronavirus social distancing measures, there are more virtual options available than ever before, making it easier to connect with doctors across the country. Well, there are several food pantries right here in Pahrump, and one of those, located at the VFW Auxiliary Post 10054, is just for veterans. Jill Fischler helps run the food bank and clothing closet.
The VFW Food Bank serves probably about 203 veterans, including their family members, on a weekly basis. We're open on Wednesday and Friday. Currently, with the pandemic, we're only open on Wednesdays. We deal mostly on donations, and donations come from all over the community. The community is very generous. We had some very large donations this morning. We had probably about $450 in dog food and cat food donations. Desert had donated some of their dog food to us, and probably $500 in food donations.
The VFW Food Bank is open every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to noon, and any veteran using the food bank will need to come prepared with the appropriate documentation.
They do have to provide ID. They need to be a resident of Pahrump with a valid driver's license or valid ID, and also the veteran's ID card. If they do not have a veteran's ID card, sometimes they're ordering one or they don't have it yet, they can bring their DD-214.
In addition to food, the VFW also provides an assortment of clothing for those in need.
We do have a veterans clothing closet, and it's open right now for people to come in, find some items, and take them free of charge if they're a veteran, but we currently aren't accepting any donations.
If you'd like to donate food items to the VFW Food Bank, you can do so during the regular Wednesday hours, 10 to noon, and they're able to accept perishable items too.
We typically have canned goods donated, but we will take some perishable items. However, we really need to watch expiration dates, especially with the perishable items.
And if you'd like to donate but can't make it during the Wednesday hours, the VFW may be able to accommodate a special pickup.
Sometimes it will happen where they just...
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Today's high in Las Vegas, 87. Tonight's low, 63. Death Valley, 95.69. Amargosa, 83.55. Beatty's high, 79.54. Goldfield, 72.42. Tonopah, 69.41. Carson City, 62.41. Fallon, 69.42. And Fernley, 66.42. We have your 7-day forecast with mostly sunny skies, a little bit of clouds rolling in. Thursday's high of 83.58, Friday 88.62, Saturday and Sunday both 91 with your overnights in the mid to high 60s. Monday 87.57, and Tuesday and Wednesday has your high 70s and your mid to low 50s for your overnights. We have some winds coming in with a little bit of high winds there on Monday, going up to 20, but we are going to be holding on to our house a little bit in the next week. That's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.